I don't have an intro.
Like, thanks for joining us today. We are so excited for Between Two Worlds B2W podcast. What up, guys?
I'm
Alexis. What are we doing? We're not posting this on YouTube unless we do our faces.
Yeah, we are.
But yeah, so San Francisco live in the house. And then we've got Katie Patterson, our K-Pats, who's calling in from Toronto. Or Hamilton. Which one are we going by? Hamilton. Well, there you go. And then Batten, who's basically in San Francisco.
But not. East Bay for life.
But not. Oh, yeah. And what is it? Together, we're Between Two Worlds Disney podcast. We're sharing our Disney discussions because they're hilarious. And everyone should know about them. So there you go.
There we go.
We'll get better at these, maybe. Who knows? If we do this every week, it might just keep going back.
Right.
We're working it out.
Make a habit of it, and then we'll get better.
We're working it out.
I'm liking like the pre-10-minute discussion, picking 4 Post-it notes, and then discussing.
Just got to work it out, guys. It's just, that's how all the good podcasts get started, I think.
And you
so we're kind of all wearing the ears today.
Yeah, I think we're just going to roll with it.
Because Batten's too busy.
We've also shifted to a morning call, so that limits our Disney drinks. Unless they include coffee.
So I guess I'll go around and we'll say what our Disney drinks are. Mine. Because we all do. We may not be drinking, but we all have a beverage in our hand. I am sipping tea. I black tea. I forget what kind it was. In my Disney.
Are you sure? You're looking at it like, I don't know. What is this?
What is this? Disney California Adventures Starbucks. We are here mugs, or what is it?
We are here.
We are here.
You are here.
And I believe it's Sloan tea called Heavenly Cream. Just how I feel.
About how that you like curated all your mini cups and you feel like you're missing some, but you aren't.
I don't know. I'm not convinced just yet. So, Batten, what is your Disney drink?
It is.
We're not showing the video. You guys have to say.
I am putting this on YouTube also, but I'm also going to read. It's a venti iced coffee from Starbucks. Add a shot. No classic. Add heavy whipping cream. 1 of 2 items in the order.
And item 2 was?
Was there another drink order?
Sausage and egg sandwich minus the bun.
That sounds like a Disney Starbucks order.
Yeah. I like to keep it consistent. So good too.
Just always there.
Alexis, your morning Disney drink?
I have iced coffee that was purchased at like, what is it? Like the Starbucks, like the grocery store kind, with a little half and half, and a small amount of the Tazo chai latte in a box.
So it's a dirty Disney drink.
It's a dirty Disney drink. It's a dirty
chai. Or is it like opposite?
It's more like a nasty coffee.
Yeah, it's a nasty coffee.
It's not a dirty.
Why did I immediately think of Janet Jackson?
You're just like
nasty. This is when we should like overplay the song.
Oh, you.
If we have the rights to it, which I don't believe we do. I don't know.
Which no one does. No one.
I don't know how that works. So Disney drinks. We've all got. Well, I kind of feel like Batten is wearing the ears because she is repping Disney hat with her Epcot, which I believe is what she wore in our last time we had this call.
Also, the greatest park of all time. Let's not forget that.
Epcot.
Epcot, the best park ever.
Epcot. First topic.
Start the conversation off with such an argument.
Yeah, let's not go there. That's not a topic of today. That will be a topic for another day. So, starting off with current happenings in the park. What's currently going on in the park on March 2019?
Well, nothing, because we're not there, so automatic down day.
Unfortunately, the park still goes on when we're not there.
Times are like. No, No, is this where we want to talk about Star Wars?
No, let's talk about that next, because that's a whole topic in itself.
Oh, okay.
Let's just like run down, share what we know is happening at the parks right now. Current events.
Isn't Flower and Garden just started yet?
So yeah, Flower and Garden started March 4th, and it's going till April. I actually don't know. I know the dates of another happening, so I'm not going to say which one it is. So that's the wrong one. Nonetheless,
don't ask me. Shit, I don't know.
Flower and Garden Festival is going on.
You know, Flower and Garden started.
Well, yeah.
It's like because Flower and Garden started.
Yes.
Yes, I know when it started.
Amazing.
And it goes in.
DCA is having Food and Wine Festival through April. 23rd. I think April 10th.
It's April 23rd.
Oh,
yeah, that's the one I knew. It's like March 4th, 23rd.
Super proud of you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Flower and Garden is through June 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Okay, good. You just have like the calendar of events up.
Google.
Proud of you. That's what I was like, what's on my app today?
Yeah, just
March 6th through June 3rd. That seems really long because I remember when I was out there like for one of the first ones, and I want to say it only lasted literally like 2 or 3 weeks.
All the festivals now almost overlap.
Have a festival.
The Epcot, I think we should definitely like heat map it, but everyone's been kind of talking that like you can't go to Epcot now without there being a festival.
That's why it's the greatest park.
Which I like that, but I also feel like it's going to start. Everyone's just going to be like, it's not as special now. You know, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be, because the park's fine by itself. We're basically saying we need a festival to be able to go to Epcot, which is not true.
No, it's true. Like I would go anytime, and there doesn't need to be a festival. R.I.P. Illuminations, Reflections of Earth.
Yeah.
It's gonna come back with a World of Color-esque show, so you're gonna be fine.
It's just gonna be a new. It's gonna be. There's gonna be a show. It's just gonna be different.
Which I think better, and
which will be fine. I mean, I loved Illuminations. Don't get me wrong, but like, I would like to.
It needed some Botox.
Yeah.
It needed a good shot.
This is a direct reflection of how Americans treat their elders, right? Like once it's old and it's been like 20 years ago, it's like let's just get rid of it. Let's just put Illuminations into the old people home. That's how I'm feeling right now, and I don't like it.
But it's true. It's not a person. It's an experience, and you can only experience it.
It need to go out to pasture. That's like saying that you couldn't you wanted to have like the
Disneyland park could have never changed, and it wouldn't have had a bunch of new rides.
Yeah, like we would have had to have the what's that one parade that never dies? Fuck.
The electrical parade?
Yeah, that shit. Like it's done.
I love the electrical parade.
But you can't go and see the electrical parade and then go and see Paint the Night and be like, oh, those are the same? Like same kind of concepts? Yeah.
And I do love
decades apart.
I love Paint the Night. But it's kind of like if they never
so good.
If they didn't add new stuff or new technology, DCA would have continued to suck.
Well, but that's the thing is like
did it not?
I actually don't think it did. It really had an identity, but I think just because people wanted more attractions to it, it really wasn't an attraction park.
Yeah.
It was a history park, and kind of like we had 2 e-tickets. You know, we had Tower and the coaster, and then we got Soarin'. So 3, but everything else was kind of just moderate.
Why are my earliest memories of DC though about eating bread and tortillas? Just going there and getting my free tortilla at the tortilla factory.
Is that
because that was it?
You can't do that anymore.
That was the wharf. Was the food? Was the tortillas and sourdough.
And can we just say only people from the West Coast refer to Disney e-tickets? It's not an East Coast thing.
It should be a more appropriate thing.
I never heard that term until you were like, it's an e-ticket. I'm like, I don't understand that it is.
What? Well, that's because how Disneyland started.
What
okay,
that
for
mean?
Batman doesn't know.
Do you know what an e-ticket is?
God.
Okay.
Another, and here's a thing Batten doesn't know. This is gonna be like a
Alexis
little like
explained it.
buzz on that comes on. So e-tickets, well, because like so when Disneyland started, everything was ticketed, right? Like the attraction to get into the park was free, but the attractions were ticketed. So an
Kind of like a
e-ticket,
carnival. Like it was more carnival-esque.
yeah, like like when you'd go like a ride for a fair, you'd give a certain amount of tickets to go for it. And so Disney, when you bought a ticket pack, you had like one e-ticket, and then you had like a few A, a few B, a couple C, a D, and an E. And so the e-ticket was like the big attraction, like the
What
big
did
ride.
E
So
stand
they
for? Like, why wasn't it an A ticket?
entertainment. It's like I think it's just the big draw.
Okay.
So that's where the e-ticket comes from, is that the big attractions are like amongst cast members are always called just e-tickets, or like e-attractions, just because they know that those are the draws. So when Cars Land came out, like its e-ticket or its e-attraction was going to be Radiator Springs Racers. Like so its main like thing
Is that?
So
is that.
E does not stand for electronic ticket.
No.
No, which could.
That's what I thought. Like my
would they-
airline days, I'm like the e-ticket.
Did
No,
they
no.
do away
E-ticket
with
just
that
means,
system
like,
before
big
they
thing.
even opened up Disney World? Like, Disney World must have never had that system.
No, Disney World never had that system. It was
That's why it's a
definitely,
West
I think,
Coast, East Coast thing.
stopped. I mean, I could look it up when they stopped actually ticketed, but I'm pretty sure like my
Alexa,
mom,
when did
her
Disneyland
first time.
stop e-tickets?
God, you can't ask Alexa.
She doesn't understand.
She doesn't know.
That's Google.
No.
Hey,
Things
Google,
Alexa doesn't know.
when does Disneyland stop selling e-tickets?
On the website d23.com, they say, on June 20th, 1981, Disneyland began offering the choice of a ticket book or an all-inclusive passport.
1981.
Limited use of the park attractions.
That was a great year,
That's
by the
right,
way,
Google.
everyone. Well, Alexis is
Nice
still
way
talking.
to show up. Nice way to show up, Alexa. I'm proud of you.
I was just gonna say, I was like,
you
can that be like an always thing? Can we always ask like Google?
Sure. I mean, he is my Google is in his Mickey Mouse holder, so it's very apropos.
So it ended in 81, but that would have been
81.
after Magic Kingdom opened.
So then I think Magic Kingdom opened with the all park access, and then 81 was when they switched that you could enter with all attraction access, or you could still
Disney
buy
World
a ticket
with an all access pass in
in lieu of
70,
the tickets.
What year was it? I forget the year. Well, how bad is that? When did it open?
Didn't it just have?
Yeah, it just had its 40th.
When did Walt Disney World open?
Walt Disney World was founded in 1965 in Bay Lake.
1965.
So then,
I'm gonna have to dispute that. I don't think Magic Kingdom opened in 1965.
It's 70.
Yeah, it was 76.
I want to say it's
that
71.
might have been Disneyland.
Oh, 71 maybe. Disneyland opened in 55 because it was the year my mom was born.
Yeah, Disneyland is 55. Disney World is
Magic Kingdom.
Oh yeah, sorry.
1971.
Yeah. So then 10 years. So then they opened
later.
up all access, and then 10 years later, West Coast changed.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean,
I don't know if I trust Google now because he gave us a wrong answer the second time.
I think he was listening to something.
But it was on the internet, so it must be true, everyone.
True.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess it's something to think. Like, actually, but I don't know. Being as I went to Walt Disney World for the first time last year, I'm not averse to it.
True.
It's many nuances or history, but yeah. So that's why that's DCA is kind of getting the same treatment though as Epcot. I mean, because we have now Food and Wine, then we do Festival Holidays, then we had Lunar New Year, our Lunar Festival. I mean, I'm assuming that we soon will have like a like a flower and garden or like an art festival or something. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
We've got, I mean, that's the only place that we really have like the like footprint for it. So you couldn't do it at
there's
Disneyland.
I was gonna say, especially with Galaxy's Edge opening, there's no way they can bring. They need stuff to
so
people back to DC.
They'll be bringing stuff. I mean, like they're on the map now. It's showing the Marvel and the Spider-Man attractions. So those will be coming soon. But yeah, so that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, and the only thing going on in Disney World, I'm just looking at their like events calendar, is March 9th to June 3rd is the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival. Then they're doing selected dates for Disney after hours at Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and Magic Kingdom. But is that like always a thing?
Yeah.
For like summertime peak, I think so.
It's like March to April. Disney Animal Kingdom is very specific. They're doing after hours on March 20th, March 27th, and then April 3rd. And then Disney After Hours Hollywood Studios is just like select dates between March and April. Like they're less specific. And then they say Disney Early Magic Hours, but that's always a thing if you're staying in the park.
Yeah. I like the late night hours the best.
But so the late night ones, you have to Disney After Hours in Florida. Do you have to buy a ticket?
Well, when Scott and I were there when Pandora first opened, no, you just had to stay on a Disney property. And then they would scan your Magic Band and it would say, yes, you're hooked to a Disney resort. And we got to stay at midnight. I
should have answered my own question by clicking the link. All the after hours, you have to pay. It's a $125 event ticket.
That's different.
So these are ones. So I saw in the
these
Florida,
are ones that you
and then afterwards I want Alexis to talk about it because she understands California side. But for what I saw is it's $125. You get free ice cream, free soft drinks. I want to say in World, and then you're essentially getting like access to rides in the less crowded because it's kind of like doing Halloween but without a Halloween theme.
Yeah, it's like what IVN and AJ did their last night. Did you guys watch that?
No.
Yeah, they were so they got back from the cruise and then they had like 2 nights still at World.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of their nights they did the Magic Kingdom after hours, which is that like you get ice cream bars, popcorn, and you get to roam the park.
So is that the same?
And go on attractions.
Is that the same in California right now?
In California, we don't have any ticketed after hours like that are general. Like ours have been themed, right? Like that's where the like the Valentine's like Sweetheart Night and the 90s night and the previously like Star Wars night, like all of those things are a similar in idea, right? Like you get full access to Disneyland and like access to snacks and things, and then but we have there's like, and I think they had it at World too. There's more characters come out. There's more photo opportunities. Ours have like where you get like 90s night. They got a fanny pack.
I saw that.
And like a 90s night thing.
But do you have to have a like? Can these be independent? If I just wanted to do a nighttime, I can buy just that. So this is an interesting concept, right? So do you like plan your trip differently? If there seems to be more of these options now, because before it was you would have like a couple extra hours on your Magic Band either before or after like the early morning hours or after hours.
Yeah,
now there's
I think you still
after-hour parties you have to pay for that are now separate from your ticket. So is it going to change the demographics on how people travel? Because if I were to buy like a 2-day park hopper, but I was going to be there 3 days, would I just then do late night for $100, $125 and go do stuff like downtown Disney during the day and then head over to Animal Kingdom for like 3-hour event?
I mean, I think that's a strong strategy move. It's just like the problem is that you do have to time them to that specific thing, right? So like there's like Sweetheart Night and 90s Night are only once. So it's not like I mean, it's not like a Halloween party, or even the Merry Christmas, like the Merry Party, which Disneyland needs. That's the one thing I will say. I want that
But
to
the
come
90s
here.
night, 90s night was only at Disneyland, right? It was
Yeah.
not at World, which
Yeah.
most of Disneyland people are locals anyways, versus people who
Yeah.
travel in.
So that's the interesting part, right? Is like I think Disney World is doing them not themed, but more of on different random nights. And then, and yeah, and the Disneyland is just doing them as like I think every month this year.
How do you find out, like, for the 90s night, like, how early do you know those are up, and how hard is it to get a ticket?
They posted them, I think, right away in the new year with Star Wars, with Sweethearts, and then 90s. And then they had annual pass windows of purchasing. And then they opened it up to the general public. So, I mean, it was a couple months at least. Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, that is very targeted to locals, because, like, anyone who's traveling all the way to California, like, you're planning your trip like a year in advance.
Yeah.
So it's like it's great or not. Like, but California, and this is going to be a vague, bold statement, but California has always been more catered to the local crowd. You can, like, rely on popping something up and people jumping on it because they're all there. Where in Florida, people plan to come there from far and wide. Like, don't get me wrong, there's tons of Florida pass holders, but, like, they're not as in the moment pop-up type culture. I don't.
It's completely different because that's just the culture thing. I think obviously there are people that come out for like the like ticketed events that are like that, but those are few and far between, because it's definitely more of that, like, that date night culture, right? Like, it's that, okay, well, we're gonna do this fun thing.
The nighttime culture, like the post after work culture.
Well, just the sheer volume of the amount of cast members that live in the Orlando area to make World happen versus Disneyland and
There's
DCA.
also more coverage. Yeah, you would need more pass holders because there is more park. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Like, that's a bigger issue, is that World is just so big. I mean, that's how it basically can, like, I don't know, get all those people there. It's not big. And I think this is also the dead season, so they're playing with how they can keep people coming. Because right, like, I mean, after between New Year's and the first break, basically like spring break, like as soon as like March Madness happens, like that kind of Passover is it's just dead. Yeah. Like, the fireworks aren't happening every night, and like the parks close kind of early. So they're just playing with what concepts can get people in, and they can get more money from themed nights, because again, like, any pass holders down there, any locals, like, they're just looking to have a special moment at Disneyland that doesn't have the general public, because that's the biggest thing, is like that general public is I think what causes the bigger crowd. Like, that's when, when everyone wants to come for spring break, everyone trying to make a summer plan or holiday plan.
Well, especially, more people can do our monthly pass, pay monthly, that whole debate about, like, oh, if you can't afford an annual pass right up front.
That was honestly like one bitter Betty on Instagram. There's
actually a few people who have made several comments on different threads that I've read about, like, well, if you just can't afford it, like, it shouldn't be a monthly option. I was like, bitch, you can do that in Florida too. Like, everyone calm down. Yeah. It's like a car payment.
Well, that's what I also want to be like. So you outright paid for your Lexus? I bold-faced lies. There's no way. You're probably leasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But so okay, cost-wise, I'm just trying to think. Yeah. It's not, you don't get, if you buy a ticket to, let's say, the 90s night, it's above and beyond the park pass. Because if you're already an annual pass holder and then you pay another $125 to go that night, does that mean if you're not an annual pass holder, you have to buy a day pass and that ticket?
No, it's just that ticket. So it's just like a Halloween pass. Like, you don't have to buy you can't get in before that time, but with that access, you can get in. I think they started at like 3:00. You know how, like, a Halloween party, you can get in a little bit earlier with the ticket and then the Halloween party starts, and then everybody has to leave. Like that's how it was with these. You got in a little bit early, and then they funneled like all the non-ticketed event people got funneled out.
So how? But then aren't you paying more as like an annual pass holder? I mean, I guess you're already paying less anyways because you're using it all the time. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, you're paying more. You're paying more, but so is everybody else, right?
Yeah.
It's just that if you really think like, I mean, they, if you look at them, like, I mean, I've already said that 90s night, if it happens again, I'm for sure going. Like,
they look a lot of fun.
Seeing all the videos, seeing all the music being played, like, to have just 90s living and breathing at Disneyland seems so much fun. And all the characters were great. You know, I think it's all of them seem so much fun, and I would for sure pay for that because it's just cool. It's just like the Halloween parties too. I find them the best parts is those, like, I don't know, they're like more intimate moments you can have at the park because they're not flooded with everybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I would.
All
it's
right,
just
ladies.
Like kind of the runs too.
Yeah, well, that's why I like the runs. Should we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, what's that?
Okay. It is Star Wars Galaxy Edge.
Oh, fuck that.
I want to hear from Alexis first because she seems to have like, I have facts. It seems like Alexis has like opinions.
I have opinions only because we have to go first, which is the worst idea ever. Like Disneyland's going on May 31st, prime time weekend, like first kickoff summer weekend. It's going to open. And I don't know. They just don't seem ready. And it's going to be just like a cluster because so they announced the date. And then the park blog came out and was like, well, if you stay at a Disneyland hotel or Disneyland resort property, then you'll have guaranteed access into Galaxy's Edge for this time. Like, and they gave like a window of like how, like when you could stay. So everyone was like, oh shit, jumped on it. Like, oh, like we'll just book a hotel room. And then everything I think started filling up, or I don't know what chaos was going on, but then the blog like retroactively put may be guaranteed if capacity is allowed. Like they basically put on like, oh well we're trying to make sure you get in. And then like everyone had already purchased or had already like tried to get in a hotel room, and so it's like you're paying so much money at the hotels, especially in California. They are beyond expensive. And so I think
the other options you have.
Obviously it's I think it's a should be a perk for staying on property. But they need to be able to guarantee it in some way. It needs to be like either a magic hour or an after park hour where people staying on property have been allowed to guarantee this thing. And I honestly I'll walk through it. I'll try to get a fast pass, but there's no way I'm hanging out over there. It will be crazy.
You mean like ever? Like you're just like, or just
not
right
until
now?
Okay, not until Marvel opens up at DCA.
Yeah,
because that will be the balance. Like, nerd culture can only go two ways. It's either Star Wars way or Marvel way, and so I think that'll be the balancing act, and that'll be the point where like there's some balance of people flow. But I think they just haven't thought about how the crowd control is going to happen, and to open it up at the kickoff of summer, which I totally get, like driving business. The park is going to be at capacity, I guarantee, for the first month or two.
Yeah. Like
just because of Galaxy's Edge. And so it's going to be a lot. And everyone talks about like, what is it like, how are we impacting the first time goers? It's like, they're going to deal with it. It's not going to be like walking in on a February 2nd kind of day. It's going to be high time the whole summer.
I feel like first time goers though have like more grace about it because for them, like a first time goer is someone who's like planned a vacation to go there, and they tend to be less finicky than locals because they're just like, oh well, like it's Disney, it's a theme park, it's busy, like we came here to come to a theme park, or we came here to see Star Wars, or and like at least that's my sense because if that's how Florida is. Like if you're in like Magic Kingdom in July with like 1,000 Brazilian tour groups, you're just like,
yeah,
it's always a shit show. Like that's just the way it is.
It is.
So, I mean, and that's with the capacity that they have, like the amount of people that fit in that space, and you still feel like you're like shoulder to shoulder with people. Like, I don't know. That's how I grew up going to Florida in peak summer times with the whole world flying in groups of 300 to Magic Kingdom. Like it was always insane. Like nothing was less than an hour and a half wait. Like that's just everything was an hour and a half wait before fast passes. I don't know.
Yeah.
So first time goers I think will be less worried. Or not less worried, they'll be worried, but they'll be more tolerant, I think. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy because I remember working there and it was always like we would get the seasonal Brazilian college program kids too when we were on the college program, and it would be like literally just 6 to 8 weeks that they would work. So they, summertime like June, July, August was crazy, and then they would work usually August, September, like July, August, or like August into September, and it was just nutty. Like all you saw were like groups of 100 plus in bright colored t-shirts and the flags. And nothing wrong with that, but it just adds a whole nother element to all of the lines for food and attractions, and it's just not, and it's also rainy, so you get people coming and they hadn't done their research about like, oh, it's hurricane season, it rains every day at 4:00.
Torrential.
Yeah, I've always heard the complaining on the other side, like as people who aren't annual pass holders being like, oh my God, the park's really crowded today. And I'm like, you haven't been to a crowded park. Like you haven't been New Year's Eve, like basically where you're stuck wherever you are. It's just, I always hear it from people that are like, well, like if they like, I shouldn't have to, like, this shouldn't be my experience. Like I should be able to have, where I don't feel like sardined. And I'm like,
well, if you're coming on vacation, it's March break.
Well, that's what I'm like. So you're coming during busy season. Like there's 2 months where if you want to have empty park time and want to feel the expansiveness that is this, it's that time. And I don't know. And I now with Galaxy's Edge opening, I don't think we will have too much of a dead time.
No. Well, they're saying like there's other people online that are basically talking about the world side of it and saying like it will not die down for years. Like it will be like, don't expect, like there's people saying like I'm gonna go for open day. I wouldn't even fathom going for open day because
God.
I'm all about open day stuff. Maybe if it was something I was more like, I love Star Wars, but I'm not like a fan. So like Epcot, like Epcot Anniversary, I'm gonna be there if it's busy or not. But Star Wars, I'm like, it will still be the same Star Wars park a year from now. So I'll see it whenever. Like I don't need to be there for open day.
But that's how I feel about Galaxy's Edge. I'm like, it's gonna be there forever. Yeah. I don't need to make myself hate it. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna wait it out. So
yeah. Now, Ben, where are you standing, or what do you know about Galaxy Edge so far?
I know that the barbecue place used to be there at Disneyland. That was really yummy.
I'm so proud of you.
What'd you say? You know about this barbecue place?
She knew the barbecue place that had to had to go for this to happen.
Oh, you guys dropped it from Disneyland?
Yeah, it was back in where that back area is.
You're talking about the existing place in Frontierland.
Yeah. Yeah. So we lost
I love that place, by the way.
I know.
Lost that.
And you lost the horses.
What was it? Like
the
petting zoo. Yeah. And we lost a lot of they lost a lot of backlot.
Where else would it have all gone?
Yeah.
Like, it's huge.
Yeah, no. I'm excited to see like what it looks like because I remember we've been watching it get built over the years, like when we would race and then do the back side of it and seeing it all closed. So I'm excited to see like how it looks and all of its, what it's able to provide. And I feel like from like an aesthetics piece, it's going to be amazing. I'm also excited for other parts of the park to be less busy because everyone's going to be there. So that's what I would more take advantage of. I don't even know if I'll try and even get in there the first couple times I go back to Disneyland, to be honest. Like, I just don't know if I want to deal with it. Like, I'll walk by it maybe or whatnot.
I'll try to get a fast pass because people don't know how to use that.
Like, I'm not going to. Like, I would just be more happy, like, oh, I can ride Pirates back to back. Or, I can sit and just hang out and take in all of Disneyland because that's what I also love. Like, I don't have to be on all the rides or the attractions. So, like, I don't even know. What I'm more excited about is this whole immersive. And again, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. Like, I love Star Wars. Like, it reminds me of my childhood. The movies are great, but, like, don't know the trivia. I'm not a nerd like that. But I'm actually really excited for the kind of Westworld-ish like hotel or resort that's opening up in World.
Are you not scared?
Awesome.
I'm scared.
Yeah. So scared.
But then what I'm more excited about, like, I think that's so awesome that they're going to do it, and I would love to experience it someday. But I'm also excited for all the discounts that'll happen at the other resorts to try and get people to come because everyone's going to be wanting to stay there.
Yeah,
so I'm more excited about capitalizing on all the non-Star Wars stuff at first that will maybe be neglected a bit from folks because they're going to be all about the Star Wars experience. And so that's all I know. I haven't really been keeping up.
I can't believe though, like this is the first time I've ever heard like people basically being like, I won't even walk in it in like a year. Like when Toy Story opened, like you may not get on a ride, but you can. Like, I never thought I could never walk into Pandora or walk into Toy Story Land. Like, I think you can walk through anything in the park.
I think from the Disneyland side, though, there's only 2 points of entrance. It's not, I mean, I guess like Toy Story Land, there's only one, really. Like, there's one main fair. But just because I think it honestly is a fear of crowd control. Like, I don't think. Pandora was a fucking nut show, and I wasn't even there that first opening time. Like, right, we came 3 months after was the first time I was able to do it, and it was like people running, people like grabbing in line, and and then like 2-hour waits.
Yeah,
in line, before you get anywhere close, and then so that to me is like. They had the space to kind of like maneuver the crowd and make it a little easier. I guess I just don't think we're prepared for it from a space perspective. And I think that's why I think from like the land side is why you can avoid it is because it's far away. It's like you don't have to pass through it unless you're trying to pass through it. And so I think that that's the avoidance part is like you can just be like, okay, you can walk through it or you can try to get your fast passes, but you don't have to go through it. And I think that that's where people aren't going to try to force it.
Yeah.
Like they're not like I don't think they see it as like the end all be all to like, okay, I need to do this right away. Because like you said, again, it's going to be there.
Yeah. Like,
I'm probably going to contradict myself is I was never a huge Avatar fan, but like what they were able to do at Pandora, I mean, it's now one of my favorite places to go.
And so it's because of Nomad's Lounge.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's part of it too.
But have you seen the greatest like Millennium Falcon, like the attraction?
I haven't looked at. I haven't seen any of that.
it is going to be like the voyage. Like it's going to be like Flights of Passage I think as an experience, but inside Star Wars. Like I think it's going to be that attraction level. It's going to be insane. Where like, there's, where it's like, I don't know how they're breaking it up or anything, but it feels like there's like 8 of you and you're in the Millennium Falcon.
Well, and they say it's going to be a free will ride. So
yeah.
like Mission to Space, where like you could literally get into Mission to Space, not press anything, and the story continues. Like if the pilot doesn't press go or red button, whatever it tells you, you can literally just sit there and it does it. Where they're saying with this ride, it's actually going to be like free will. So if you don't do something, the storyline goes to a certain degree. What they're trying to do though is not make sure it's short. So they were saying, I think there was a release by like an Imagineer that they essentially like didn't do a bunch of things and it crashed. Like the storyline ended up crashing and the experience ended in 45 seconds. And they're like, well, we can't have people wait 2 hours in line and have a 45-second experience. So it's free will, but they're trying to make sure any free will decision is still like a storyline of a certain length. So you get on it.
Yeah, it should basically be like by default, it should be Star Tours.
Yeah.
Like by default, it should have some like story of its own. But I think it's gonna be like, I'm excited for it. Like I'm excited for all that's to come. It's just that it's gonna, I don't know how prepared we are, because I just think it's gonna be like crazy. Everyone's gonna want to go. And this is like, I think for a lot of people that haven't gone in a long time, like this is the switch that everyone's like, oh, it's time to go.
Yeah. Like, well, a lot of people say that like people have been holding off.
Yeah, because it's a new thing, so people feel like, oh, so this is the time I should go.
Yeah.
Because we haven't done this before.
Yeah.
And remind me, so Disneyland is May 31st. When is World?
August.
Isn't it September?
Oh, okay.
Did they push it back? I'm looking.
Yeah, I think it's September 9th. I could be wrong.
Galaxy Edge.
I just saw 31st, May 31st, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, lands. Yeah.
I'm trying to go 2 times before.
Opening August 29th, 2019.
There you go.
So the Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
Oh, that'll be fun. You will not catch me there.
and ours is
opening up ahead of schedule.
Yeah, and ours is Memorial Day weekend.
So,
oh my gosh,
we've talked attractions.
I wouldn't go anyways.
Well, that's what I'm like. It's gonna be it's already a madhouse, and then to like throw that on top of it. Yeah.
So we've talked attractions. We've talked crowds. Has anyone been following what's going on from a food and beverage perspective?
I mean, alcohol and Disneyland, big major moment.
Free will in alcohol.
Yeah.
Wait. What?
Yes, there will be alcohol at Galaxy's Edge, Baden.
Oh.
So
yeah, there was
Hollywood Studios, not a big deal because you can already buy beer literally everywhere, and there's now a brew pub inside of Hollywood Studios.
It's not an issue. It's not an issue.
There will be free. As far as I know, I don't think it's going to be like a skipper canteen situation where you can go in or be our guest. I think you can actually like. Or maybe it is. Maybe you have to go into the canteen, and you can't leave.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is controlled. It is like restaurant, like good. Cove bar,
which is new because you guys don't have like a skipper's canteen or a Be Our Guest. Like the only place
you could
33
until it's Club 33.
Yeah,
and so that's a big shift.
Yeah,
which I think it's fine. You know, it's not the 50s or 60s. Like I think we've all moved past it, and I think it's a huge. I think from the experience, like they had to do something. It'll be interesting if it trickles out.
Yeah,
like if
it
wine
hasn't done
and
that
beer,
at Magic Kingdom yet, though. Like it's still
if wine and beer can trickle out. Well, so that's the thing, right? Like we'll see.
Because
But I
Magic
don't
Kingdom
know.
and Skip.
So
I don't
I
think
would
it will.
be fine with it just being confined. Like, I have mixed feelings about going to Disneyland or Magic Kingdom and like walking around with wine and beer, like, because it is more kid centric. I mean, I don't know. Like, I would say I'm pretty like liberal and open, but like, I don't know. Just there's just something I don't know if I how I feel about like going into Fantasyland or waiting at Dumbo with like a vodka soda or like a Heineken. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we have 3
No,
other
I
parks
don't-
you can do that in. So like to me, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, and that's why we have DCA. I think it's just like everyone's complete shock that this is something. And we don't really have any, I guess, like super experiential dining on Disneyland either to make that happen. So it's just going to be interesting to see how it's received and like how possibly does that change any kind of experiences outside. I obviously hope that they don't overserve. I hope that there's some level of control because DCH can just get crazy. Just like Epcot, like people get smashed.
Epcot is actually the worst park. Like you can walk Animal Kingdom and people are like having fun and they're fine. But in terms of drinking,
Drinking,
people
Well,
when they're in
food and
Epcot,
wine festival. Yeah,
but that's the
even
thing. Now
not
there's
food
always a
and wine
festival.
though.
Yeah,
it's worse
Even
than
not food and wine.
it is.
Yeah, but what I'm
It's
saying is like
still-
it's real bad at
It was
food and
still
wine.
pretty bad.
Like I'm just looking at. So they have released like full menus of like what they're going to be serving. And I don't know, something I'm excited about is they've got, and I'm gonna mess up all the names of whoever the Star Wars people are, but there's a character. They basically have like, or the things like the ships, like I don't know, but they've got like one of the restaurants is like a barbecue style restaurant, and it's the engine of a ship that is going to fuel the barbecue. So it's kind of got like the engine of the ship's in the center, and it's going to like be a barbecue pit made with like the heat of the pod racer. I think it's called. I don't know.
Got it.
It's Ronto's Roasters.
That just sounds like what is it? What's our skewer place?
Bengal barbecue.
Bengal barbecue. It's like, oh, that fire in the center.
But like it's like the food looks really good.
What's that?
Those tacos?
Tacos. Yeah.
That does look good.
There's the concept art for Ronto's Roasters.
This is gonna be so crazy to actually see all this come together.
They've got tons of like the drinks are very like Pandora-esque.
Oh,
which
no,
I'm gonna be truthful. I haven't been in the cantina in Pandora. I haven't eaten any of the beverages in Pandora.
It didn't really look that good.
You don't think the food looks that good?
No, the in Pandora, like we walked by it several times.
Ooh, what's the one with the donut on top?
That is the Mongo. No, that's the Blue Bantha.
Blue Bantha.
So it's like the
Bloody
like
Rancor and a black spire brew
in Star Wars.
Oh,
but like, look at the food.
Ooh, and there's gonna be Cantina's DJ, which is the Star Speeder 3000 pilot.
Ooh,
yeah, the Opian something cantina.
Yeah. Oven roasted burra fish, fried Andorian. Yep.
That looks good. Is that popcorn?
It is Kat Saka Kettle. Oh, it's the Outpost mix.
They're gonna have boba.
That is very Pandora-like.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like it's very because
very sci-fi.
There's already a culture. There's already a full experience like on paper, in movies, in in games, in VR. Like there's already these things that they have to capture there for it to make sense.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, I have to say, Pandora, the cantina, I've always wanted to eat in, and I just never seem to take the time. I don't know why. The drinks I could either take.
The The couple times I've walked by it, like when we were there, Alexis,
Yeah.
it was, oh, that kind of food just doesn't sound good right now because it's very
Yeah.
like kind of like Asian influence where it's like rice with some chicken on top, like some bowls. Like I'd rather walk 5 minutes to Nomad's Lounge, get the comfy outside, get a charcuterie plate. That is literally, take me back now. Like I love that whole experience.
Like, now.
Sit there all day.
Yeah.
And I have.
And we have.
Yeah.
What's funny is that Star Wars, I think the other reason why it seems very Pandora-esque food, why is it? It's like Asian inspired for some reason. Like it seems to be like the future is Asian food. That seems to be the thing.
I mean, that couldn't be a truer statement.
Yeah. So like it's all like noodles and shrimp and I don't know. Like they've got the blue milk and the green milk, which is going to be found at Black Spire's outpost.
Yeah, but it's not milk.
Shrimp. The greatest location for noodles and shrimp. Let's all say it once together. Ohana's.
Now you can go to Ohana's all you want when Star Wars opens because no one's going to want to be there.
And the fact that we can order a full Ohana meal when we say it Polynesian needs to be understood.
I'm like, excuse me, can we get another round of pot stickers and noodles and vegetables and shrimp?
Just want it
all. And steak
all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
So yeah, I mean, final thoughts on Star Wars Land, Alexis.
Well, Galaxy's Edge, so that we don't get roasted if we post this.
When will we post this? That's fine. It's a mix of. It's relatable.
You know what? If it causes it drums up some viewers and some improper discussion,
drum up some hate. They're already gonna be like,
everyone can throw the hate because that means you've listened. And
That's
you know what?
right.
That's more than the last people who listened. So feel free to hate.
Exactly.
Appreciate.
Okay, final thoughts on Galaxy Edge.
Proud of you,
Alexis.
Final thoughts. Super excited. Lots to look forward to. Slightly nervous on how it rolls out, and these first few months.
10 years.
No, I think it'll get its groove, but I just if we think about like Food and Wine coming back and us being there like day one, Food and Wine, and being like, so when are the booths opening? Because you said it was opening at 11, and it's 11. So like there's a certain Disney quality.
And no one knew Food and Wine was even happening. Like no one was there, so thank God.
Everyone was like, oh yeah, these booths about that. So it's that kind of thing that like when I think about like, okay, like how Disney should roll something out, and then me being like, but working at California and being in California, I just know.
Yeah.
I just know that some things aren't thought about because they're not used to it. It's not world. It's not with all these capacities, all these people.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'm nervous about. I know that they're going to deliver on the experience, the attractions, the food, everything will be great once it gets like its feet under itself. And I feel like the first couple months are going to be hard, and we're going to hear a lot of complaining for sure.
Yeah. Batten, final thoughts on Star Wars Galaxy Edge?
I'm just still excited for everything else not being as busy. And my mind is wandering, thinking about the gondolas at World. And
okay, let's talk about that after we do our final thoughts. I feel like that needs to be discussed.
Also, final thought on Galaxy's Edge. And I was asking the reason why I was asking when World was opening up is because annual pass holders at World right now, you can book, if you book by March 25th, I think it is, you have up to 30% off of hotels through September 29th.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I was like, interesting that they're doing a discount like this during that.
So did we book one?
I'm looking.
Yeah,
July.
Yay! You can take me during a bad month too. I don't mind. I'll deal with the weather. I'll just wear shorts. Be okay with it.
The weather's never that bad. It's just like an hour in the day, and then you carry on your merry way. Like it's always sunny.
But I do not like humidity. Do you? I mean, the puffball on my head.
It's humid in Florida. It's
last
a
2 times
swampland.
I've
You
gone,
do
it
realize
has
Disney
been-
was built on a swamp,
It has
right?
been very nice.
Yeah. It's not California. Final thoughts, Galaxy Edge for me. I am excited to like walk through it. I am actually kind of excited about like there's like 3 restaurants, the bar, the cantina. Like I could be okay. I mean, it took me years to get on the Pandora ride, and I still enjoyed walking through Pandora. And Pandora is like small, so I'm kind of hoping if it's really not big. You do like a little
ride?
what the
Can
Pandora
we talk
ride.
about your Pandora ride?
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that later?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell that story afterwards. So my final thoughts. Alexis is crying already. Yeah, I'm excited for like. I actually want to see if they actually live up to like this immersive experience, because if that's the case, it's going to be unfounded anywhere else. Like where you'll actually get more like interaction with characters at a level where it's not like you're standing in line and taking a photo with them and leaving, but more like like Westworld. Like how close do they get to that type of immersive experience? Not just because they're great at doing immersive environments.
Food, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I expect the next level, if it's an immersive experience, there's like live action. That's where I think. So, but like I said, if I don't see it for like from a year from now, like I'm kind of cool. I don't need to see it.
Okay.
So those are my final thoughts. Star Wars. I believe we just added 2 more items to the agenda.
I mean, we don't have to go into it. We can save it for another time.
I think
there
we
will
should
be
save
so
it
many
to-
times to talk about. I feel like
You know what we should do is we'll do an
the
Animal
attractions
Kingdom
that have
show,
gone wrong.
and we'll talk all things Animal Kingdom, and we can talk about
I
that.
just like the idea. Of
Is that our next
attractions that have
show?
gone
Patton, is that the next show? You can host it, Animal Kingdom.
Yes, because I love Animal Kingdom so pretty much.
Everybody loves Animal Kingdom. It's like
Okay, let's save it for the next show.
It's like everybody loves Animal Kingdom.
Patton, talk a little bit about gondolas.
Gondolas, yeah.
And that's not what they're called.
What are they called?
Are they called the gondolas?
Okay, then I'm
Called,
taking
like,
this as
death
my
boxes?
thing Patton doesn't know. It's called
Okay.
the Skyliner.
The Skyliner.
Yeah.
Skyliners.
Alexa's already had hers. That's mine. They're called the Skyliners.
Proud of you.
So
I
thoughts.
doesn't know.
I don't see the big objection to them. I mean, I don't know why people are freaking out, to be honest. Like, I don't know if it'll be my first option as a transport mode to and from different areas, but like I think it's kind of cool. I definitely don't want to be on the first ride in case something happens. We'll let other people test that out because it's a long way down in a little bucket.
They're not very big.
And so they're also temperature controlled and not air conditioned, correct?
Yeah.
So we will not be riding those in July, I don't think. Because it'll be stinky.
Never.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like the pin is cute. It's another option.
The merch.
Like I just don't get the big controversy.
The controversy is that they're not air controlled.
No, they are air controlled, not air conditioned.
Like there's windows that open.
But there's no way to regulate the temperature that when you go in. And could you imagine, like, knock on wood, that you get stuck up there?
Well, it's no different than walking, though. Like, if you're walking in the elements.
But you are stuck inside like basically it reminds me of the Paradise the icky fun wheel thing. Like that's about the size.
Yeah.
We have like full windows open, right? But the thing is, like, I couldn't imagine being stuck in there, being like a very humid day with 6 people. Like, there's just that to me wasn't thought through.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though because it's not the first time Disney's done gondolas. Like, I mean, they're called Skyliners, but you mean,
yeah,
in Disney World, and you guys had them too. It's like we had the open gondolas that went from Fantasyland to, I don't know, I forget.
Yeah,
I forget where it
I
went.
just think
Tomorrowland to Fantasyland. And I remember riding that thing as a kid, and it was awesome. I think I only rode it like once or twice before it was like I came back a few years later and it was gone. They were open and you just stood in them and you just went, mind you, it's a very short trip.
That,
but they should have some sort of like knowledge and experience from that. And like they haven't gone small. Like it comes from, there's 3 separate lines.
Yeah.
Like it comes from the Caribbean resort. It comes from Riviera, and it comes from Pop, and it comes from, and it goes between like 2 resorts or something, and they go to like Hollywood Studios. Like, it's not a small endeavor. I think doesn't one go to Epcot? I don't know.
And that's where like, but that's where I'm confused. Is like, then don't close it off. Like the wind, like make it slatted, make it so that air can pass through.
Well, there is like the windows on the top open up.
But I'm thinking like, I mean, I will obviously ride it, but I'm just thinking like they obviously, considering worst case scenario, I don't think like that experience was thought through.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited because to me, like if I had one of my top 2 early memories of Disney, like riding that gondola that was from Tomorrowland to Fantasyland was it. And when I kind of went back and was like, did I remember that right? Like as a kid, like you have that memory, and then I was like, I don't ever remember seeing them again. And then you learn more, and you come like the internet starts coming up, and you can basically search anything you want to know about Disney, and you realize that it did exist and it was not like a dream. And
it wasn't, what was it, like a phantom memory?
Yeah. And so for me, it's very like nostalgic. Like the fact that I can ride a gondola again in Disney is like super nostalgic. And it's in all the photos and the videos, like people riding, and the gondolas are similar, but they're covered. I don't see myself doing it a lot because I don't normally stay at any of those resorts.
Not everyone is a DVC member.
Just wanted to drop that. She just wanted to drop it right on the conversation.
She's
so
like,
I don't
I'm
normally
sorry.
stay at those plebeian hotels, but if I have to venture out with my other friends, Katie and Alexis, then I will maybe traverse the Skyliners with them.
I've stayed at Pop Century. Don't get me wrong. I've done both ends of the spectrum.
I like how that's how you brought it back down. I've stayed at Pop. I've stayed there before.
Maybe twice. I don't know. I don't understand like the anger that is about it though either. To be honest with you though, I'm like, then don't ride it. Like, there's 1,000 ways to get to places.
Like, I mean, my thing is, I think for me, it's just confusion. It's just like you have this opportunity, you have this to make it like a cool, like a thing that people would actually go to by default, rather than go to as an elective. And I think if it was like, it's kind of like the opportunity was almost like the monorails, right? Like it could be a good default for people to just automatically get in line and jump on those if they're going wherever, you know, if the line makes sense. But now it's kind of like, I think with it like not temperature controlled kind of thing, I think it makes it a not a default for everybody, because that would be my main concern.
Yeah.
Is on a nice day, I mean, or on a normal day, you know, a humid day, what's that experience like overall?
Yeah.
And for Disney to not default to making it a better experience than it could be makes me a little like, why do this then?
Yeah.
Like, why spend the money? Why make this whole thing like announcing it and not have it be like, oh yeah, temperature controlled, you know, it's a great like 2-minute experience or however long it is.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't think it's going to be short. They're way longer. Like, I mean, it ain't Tomorrowland to Fantasyland. Like, it's a ride. You mean, from what I can tell. Like, it goes, and the structures are just gigantic. Like, it's, they expect it to be I'm assuming people riding it just as much as they ride the monorail.
And that's where I think like that's what I think the assumption has been, but the experience overall, like, could you imagine riding the monorail and it not being temperature controlled?
No, I still can't imagine riding your monorail in Disneyland because it's so tiny.
That's the thing. Like riding the monorail in Disneyland. There's no air conditioning. It's not temperature controlled. No one rides it.
Weather.
But when it's hot though, no one rides it. Yeah. It's like a steam box. Like you just sit there and you're like, ooh, gross. Yeah.
It's also short.
It's tiny. It's a tiny little monorail.
Just like everything in California. It's tiny. It's small. Deal with it.
I had just forgotten how short it was because I had taken the monorail for so many years at World. And then I was like, whoa.
You're like, well, we're there. Hi, Tomorrowland. Yeah, it does a loop, so it's not that bad.
All right, ladies. Our last segment was things Batten doesn't know, but I feel like we just had that sprinkled all throughout.
Basically, that was the whole thing.
Basically.
Batten, is there anything you're curious about that we need to talk about?
I like that last segment. Things Batten wants to know.
Things Batten is curious about.
When can I go back? No.
Hopefully with me in April.
I know. I don't know. I just feel so disconnected because work has been so wacky that I don't even know what I'm curious about other than what I see on Instagram on all my people. Like, I'm curious to see the lineup and how I am actually curious about Food and Wine this year to see if they're going to expand it even more.
At DCA?
No.
DCA has been expanded completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
it's
know.
Busy,
Ooh, I am curious about the Illuminations replacement.
I know nothing about that. Nothing.
I think either.
It's going to be like World of Color.
But I don't know like when it's coming out. Like they're not doing Illuminations right now, so they're not doing like a night show. Like, is there no night show at Epcot right now?
I don't think so.
Idea. My computer keeps falling.
Makes me sad.
I think it's gonna be like World of Color.
I do too. I just don't know like when it's coming.
Color fan people. I just don't get it.
Sorry, what?
I don't know what you said.
I said this earlier. It's not like it's a hit or miss for me. Like if I don't see it when I'm there, it's no big deal.
Did you say you're not a World of Color fan?
Yeah.
Oh
like
my God.
not that I
love
don't
World of Color.
Like I just
absolutely love World of Color.
Like I'm okay if I don't see it.
Although I don't like it as much as the original. Like I like the first one.
It's back to the original.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's been enhanced a bit, but yeah, it's back to the original.
Okay. I do like that one.
All right. I'm so glad it's back. And I'm so glad it will replace Illuminations in some way.
Illumination still has to keep like it has to be like a non-Disney show though. Like I don't want to see Elsa across the river or across the pond. I don't know what that thing's called at Epcot. The lagoon.
In Norway? Even though that's where her attraction is.
I know. I don't need to see Disney on that
independent.
show. Nope. Yeah. It has to be about like world culture.
It's like
I hope like Coco goes into Mexico.
But better because Animal Kingdom's show sucks.
Those are fine. Like how it, had Animal Kingdom, the new evening, the nighttime show.
Yeah,
it's independent stuff. Exactly. Like that's how the new Epcot show
it should be like that. It should just be like about the world.
Yeah. It should be about culture, world, people, society. Like it has to be like inspirational. Not
real people, not Elsa.
Yeah. Not Elsa.
Real people.
Elsa has enough royalties and everything else she's doing. Too much.
Gotta get that money.
I'm excited for Frozen 2 though. I'm curious about that. Frozen 2.
Frozen 2.
The sequel to
Oh.
Oh, that looks so good. Yeah.
I'll see it.
Oh yeah, you will.
For sure. Dumbo comes out in like 2 weeks.
I have to go see Marvel.
I know, I do too.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It was all sold out this weekend. For any decent seats.
Didn't make any play.
I'm not sitting in the front row.
No. All right. I think that's probably it.
All right.
Ladies,
what is this?
We've
Episode 3 down.
We've tapped our.
Check it out on our YouTube channel.
That's right. YouTube channel.
I think we need to put this on the YouTube channel.
I do too.
I think we'll get more people watching it on the YouTube channel.
We need to use all of our modes.
I think that's where we're going to get people actually watching. Because if I'm thinking title is like Disney Happenings, comma, Galaxy's Edge, comma. And I had something else great that we talked about. There was another thing that was like a key word, and that just, it's like episode 3.
Just turn off the comments. Oh, man.
Like Disney Happenings.
No, they hate all they want.
March 2019 Disney Happenings, Galaxy's Edge, Skyliner. All the words people.
All of those things.
And you're gonna put on Facebook. You're putting it on Facebook too, right, K-Pats?
And then we'll make the Facebook page. I'll make the Facebook page.
Great.
Do we have? Yeah.
Yeah. Because you get a lot of traction on Facebook.
Yeah. So we can.
We've got everything. Great, guys.
Well, I wonder where this
you can find us wherever you're watching this. It's fucking everywhere.
Everywhere.
You can't not find us.
No.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, well, who knows what we're going to talk about next week, but we will be back.
Animal Kingdom.
Oh, never mind. Next week. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at B2W Podcast and connect with us with the hashtag Between Two Worlds. By the way, it's 2, not TO, like the number 2. Get with it. All right. Well, I guess we will see you guys real soon.
See you real soon.
Bye, B2 Dubs.
Peace out, yo.